Hi guys, I hope that you're all doing really well. So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I have never done this before, but I want to know your guys' feedback and know if it's something that you would like me to continue to do in the future. Today I'm going to be talking about rose fragrances, but not just any rose fragrances. I want to share with you guys my recommendations for the sexiest rose fragrances in my personal opinion. Now, rose is, I would say, one of the most tricky raw materials to appreciate. Now, I know that some of you guys watching that love rose are going to be like, what? Rose is the best, rose is incredible, etc. But I have to say, as somebody who has been in the fragrance community and industry now for many years, rose is definitely something that I had to grow to appreciate the scent. Now, the reason that I wanted to make this video about sexy rose fragrances is because I know you guys, I know that there are a lot of people out there that don't really like rose fragrances. And when I say don't like rose fragrances, I mean the traditional rose scent. In my opinion, a traditional rose fragrance is something like Portrait of a Lady from Frederic Malle, which, to be completely honest with you guys, I am really shocked at how popular that scent is. Not because it's not beautiful, because it's a very like traditional, quite classic rose fragrance. I was not expecting so many people to be on board with that type of scent. Depending on what raw materials have been paired with rose, I do feel like sometimes rose fragrances can come off very classic, very mature, very traditional, and some people really love that. Like I said, I am starting to really appreciate fragrances like that, but I know not everyone is there. So I wanted to give you guys my recommendations for the sexiest rose fragrances in my personal opinion. Let's hit it off with a banger. We have La Perla Possibilities. You guys, this is one of the sexiest fragrances in this list. It is just incredible. I know I have spoken about it so much. I don't know if you guys can see my bottle, if I put the lighting right, but I am around here. I am making a conscious effort not to wear this fragrance too much because I don't want to run through it. I only want to wear it for special occasions where I really want to show out and feel very sexy with my scent. So I'm trying to savor this one a little bit, but guys, it is just perfect. This is a very big, voluptuous floral scent. It's so sexy. It's sweet. It's slightly powdery and musky. It's just wow. I have nothing bad to say about this scent. It is just pure perfection for me. Yes, it's a rose fragrance, but it feels overall just like a very plush and voluptuous floral scent with some muskiness, a powderiness, a soft woodiness in the base. It has the sweetness there. It's just incredible, you guys. Like, this fragrance really is one of the sexiest in my entire collection, and I really recommend that you go out and give it a sniff. Longevity projection is also really good on the fragrance. For me, I get around 7 hours of pretty good wear with a nice projection, and this one is a big compliment getter. I always say it, I always try to bring it up again, but I did get complimented by Alberto Morillas when I was wearing this scent, which is a huge compliment because, as you guys know, Alberto Morillas is a master perfumer. He created Acquedizio, so many of the Bulgaris, so many fragrances in general. He has Mise en Serre, his own fragrance brand, and he told me that I smelled very good when I was wearing this scent. So I take that as like the #1 compliment I could ever receive. So it's an incredible fragrance. It's very sexy, very alluring, and I really recommend it to you guys if you wanted a sexy, non-traditional rose fragrance. Oud Bouquet from Lancome. Now, I didn't want to fall into the trap of putting rose ouds because I have a lot of rose oud fragrances. I have Noir de Noir, Ardent by Bodicea, I have Oud Satin Mood, but if I could say which one I think is the sexiest out of all of my rose ouds, I think it has to be the OG Oud Bouquet. Guys, oh my gosh, I feel so lucky, you guys, to have this specific bottle of Oud Bouquet. I know that so many people want to have this bottle, and I feel so lucky because I got it maybe 6 years ago, 5 years ago now, and I got sent it by an Australian retailer, and they had the OG bottles of Oud Bouquet, and they sent one to me. And guys, I love this fragrance with all of my heart still to this day. Although I don't really wear it very often, it is still to this day for me one of the best rose oud fragrances that I have ever tried. This is such a sweet and woody rose oud scent. You have vanilla, I think you have praline, you have the rose, you have the oud. It's just incredible. Like I don't know what else to say. The rose and oud are perfectly balanced. The sweetness is very, very intense. The woodiness is there. The oud is not skanky. Don't worry if you don't want to smell like a real kind of barnyardy sort of oud. I have a lot in my collection that I could tell you guys that smells like skank, but this is not that. This is a very, the oud is there, but it's very wearable. So I love this fragrance. I find it to be so incredibly sexy on the skin. And when I used to wear this going out in Australia, I would get chased. Like I actually got chased by a girl. I remember because I went out in like this area that I used to always go out in, and one girl literally chased me when we were crossing the road to ask me what I was wearing, and it was Oud Bouquet. So this is just an incredibly sexy fragrance. It's so sweet and opulent and just intense, and it's incredible. So Oud Bouquet, I really recommend it. It's a very, very, very sexy rose oud scent. Next up, we have Hibiscus MAHAJÁD from Maison Crivelli. Now, this is a gorgeous rose fragrance with so much going on. Like this is the opposite of a traditional rose scent. This really has so many different elements to the scent that make it really special and really sexy. You have rose, you have vanilla, you have some leather. I think there's a bit of spice in there. It's just incredible. I almost get like a cassis vibe. I do feel this kind of blackcurrant touch, and it's just, wow. It does remind me slightly of Delina Exclusive. I would say it doesn't smell like Delina the original at all, but the Delina Exclusive, there is something in there that does remind me of each other. But Hibiscus MAHAJÁD definitely stands on its own feet. Like you can own both fragrances in your collection and they feel different enough to own both. But it's a very, very, very sexy fragrance, a big compliment getter, and it's very, very intense and very strong. The rose is there. Like I said, you kind of have this blackcurrant touch. It's very sweet, it's very dominant. It's just, it's incredible, guys. So I really recommend this if you wanted to try a very sexy, sweet, strong rose fragrance with a lot going on. Try Hibiscus MAHAJÁD from Maison Crivelli. It is fantastic, and it's popular for a reason. People love this fragrance, and that it's for a good reason. It's a great scent. I didn't wear this scent, guys, for such a long time. This is MANAKARA from Indot Paris. This fragrance is definitely slept on. Like it's such a gorgeous rose fragrance that, again, is not traditional whatsoever. This is a very sweet and feminine, like ultra feminine rose fragrance. It's wow. Like you have, I think there is lychee, vanilla and rose in here, and maybe some musk as well. But you guys really have to try this one if you wanted this delicious kind of sticky sweet feminine rose scent. You must try MANAKARA. It is so girly and so feminine. I know I keep on using that word to describe it, but really it's one of probably the most feminine fragrances in my collection. It smells so girly. It's sweet. It has a slight tartness from the lychee. There is a lot of vanilla, some musk and the rose, but it's perfectly balanced. All of the notes work in unison, and it's just a gorgeous fragrance. I get around, I would say, 7 hours of pretty good wear with the scent with a minimal projection, but I absolutely love it, and I really recommend this one if you wanted a very sexy and very, very feminine rose scent. MANAKARA will definitely be for you. Something a little bit darker. We have MARIYA from Oman Luxury. Now, I discovered this fragrance earlier this year at, why was that such a tongue twister? I discovered this fragrance earlier this year at Essence in Milan. I actually met the owners of the brand and I went through and smelled a bunch of the scents, and MARIYA, it blew me away. Yes, this is a rose fragrance, but it is so much more. And like I said, it has a darkness to it. You have the rose, which is very beautiful, very high quality and very opulent, mixed with this gorgeous kind of roasted dark coffee note, mixed with patchouli, which gives it that depth and that kind of power underneath. And then you also have a sweetness. I think there's some caramel in there as well. This is gorgeous, you guys. Like, really, when I think of a high quality rose fragrance that gives me a little bit of a feeling of living in the Middle East, I think of MARIYA. This doesn't have oud, like a very intense oudiness going on. It's not animalic, nothing like that. This is just a very gorgeous, opulent rose scent with that dark coffee, the caramel, the patchouli, which all just works so beautifully together. It's also not too sweet. I do want to let you guys know that. There is a sweetness there for sure, but it's like a bitter sweetness. Like, it's not very cozy and gourmand. It's more of a sexy, like dark, femme fatale, night out rose fragrance. So I really recommend checking this one out. Also, the longevity and projection of MARIYA is fantastic. Myself, I get around 7 hours or so, maybe a little bit more, with a nice projection. And actually, Michelle gave me a compliment when I sprayed this on myself at Essence. She was like, "What is that?" And it was MARIYA from Oman Luxury. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance that I really recommend to you guys. Of course, we had to put Rose's Vanille into the video because she is a staple at this point. She's a staple. You guys should all know it by now. Rose's Vanille from Mancera is just this beautiful, very feminine, sweet rose fragrance. You have sugar, vanilla, rose. I don't really know what else, to be honest, but overall what I get is a rose vanilla scent, but very playful, very sexy, again, very feminine, and it just smells fantastic. I told you guys in a previous video that the only reason that I don't wear this scent is because I smell this DNA so much in Dubai, like exactly this DNA. I remember I even went to a cafe and they give you like some little hand towels at the end, and I opened the hand towel and I smelled it, and it was literally a dupe for Mancera Rose's Vanille. Like the hand towels, the soaps here, the bathrooms, the hotels, a lot of places really like have something that smells exactly like Rose's Vanille. So that's the only reason. But other than that, if you live maybe in the US or if you live in Australia or the UK, maybe it's not that popular. And then I would say run out and get yourself a bottle and spray it all over you because it smells incredible. So yeah, it's a very simple scent in my opinion, but it's done beautifully. It's just a gorgeous fragrance, Mancera Rose's Vanille. Next up we have LALIBELA from Memo Paris. Now I am so happy to own this fragrance. I actually got it several months ago now, but I remember the first time I smelled it years ago, and I always wanted to have a bottle of this one because it's just so gorgeous. Now this is probably one of the most unique fragrances, rose fragrances within this video, because it's not just a rose scent. And it's really hard to describe, but for me, this is almost like a tropical rose fragrance. You definitely feel the rose, but you also get this kind of tropical floral vibe as well, along with some sweetness, a creaminess. It's just gorgeous, like absolutely gorgeous, you guys. So I really recommend LALIBELA. I have worn it a little bit during the summertime and it smells incredible. Pierre, he gave me a compliment when I was wearing this one. It is gorgeous, so really check this one out. For me, the longevity and projection is fantastic. I get around 7 hours, I would say, with a really nice projection. So check this one out. If you wanted a more dimensional rose fragrance, not just your typical rose scent, your sweet rose fragrance, I would really recommend checking this one out. It has a lot of edges to it and it's going to keep you guessing. The more and more that you wear it, you're going to smell yourself and be like, like, what is that? Because it's very intriguing, this fragrance. So LALIBELA from Memo Paris, an incredible rose fragrance that is much more than a rose. How could I make this video and not include Atomic Rose from Initio? Atomic Rose is definitely one of the sexiest rose fragrances for me personally. Now, for all of the people that think that this smells like Delina, I totally understand that kind of comparison, and I agree that it smells similar, but it's much darker. It's definitely like the auntie of Delina, or like the older sister who's much more naughty than Delina. This is not clean and plush and musky like Delina is. This is kind of sweet, a little bit spicy, kind of dark, almost a bit boozy in a way, and it's very, 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 very sexy. I get a lot of pink pepper in this scent mixed with the rose and some sweetness, and it's just, it is wow. Like, this is another one that when I started to wear it and I was wearing it so much, everyone would comment on my fragrance when I was wearing this one. It is truly, truly, truly incredible and very, very intoxicating on the skin. Oh, it's so good. If you wanted like a darker version of Delina, let's say you love Delina but you want something similar but maybe for the nighttime, 100% check out Atomic Rose. It's the naughty sister of Delina, and that's why I didn't put Delina in this list, because for me, Delina, okay, yes, it can be sexy, but for me it's like a very plush, very feminine, very girly, flirty rose fragrance. This one is sexy. Like, that's what I would classify it as, and it's incredible. So Atomic Rose from Initio. Guys, this one is a sexy rose. That's it. This is not a classy rose, a feminine rose, a girly rose. This is a sexy, sexy, sexy rose, you guys. What you have, I didn't even say what it was. This is Juicebox Siren and Sailors. This fragrance was actually inspired by Amy Winehouse's music, and I remember the first time that I smelled this scent and I immediately wanted to get a bottle of it. I knew from the second that I smelled it that this is my type of fragrance, and it really is. What you have with Siren and Sailors is a sweet, boozy rose fragrance with a slightly fruity vibe as well. So you have some gourmand notes like vanilla, but you also have a really addictive kind of fruitiness from some peach. You also have some booziness in there. I think there's maybe whiskey or rum or something like that. And then you have the rose. So this is a very, very sweet, like kind of punchy but boozy rose scent. And it is so addictive. Like, that is the word to describe this fragrance. It is addictive, addictive, addictive. The longevity projection is also really good on Siren and Sailors. I get around 8 hours of really, really good wear with a minimal projection. So definitely check this one out. If you like the sound of the notes, don't worry if you're not into boozy fragrances. The booziness is not like a masculine boozy scent. It just adds like a little kick to the scent, and it's incredible. So I really recommend this one, Siren and Sailors from Juicebox. One of my absolute favorites in this list, this is Peregrina from Tamine. You can see from my bottle that I'm almost out of this scent. I'm actually savoring it because I really don't want to go and buy a new bottle of it. But guys, Peregrina, what can I say? If you guys watch my videos, you might have remembered the time that I fell in love with this scent, which was maybe about 2 years ago now. And of course, like, I loved it, I wore it so much, and then I kind of put it aside and I restarted wearing it this year, and I realized how much I love this fragrance. When it comes to a sexy, sweet, addictive rose scent, Peregrina for me is a 10 out of 10, like chef's kiss, addictive rose scent. What you're gonna get is rose, of course, with some caramel, I think some amber and gardenia. So you have the rose, but you also feel the gardenia and that kind of white floral touch in here, mixed with this addictive sweetness. And my God, like, guys, I have no words for this one. Also, what I appreciate about this scent so much is that it has a really, really fantastic wear time. Like, for me, it lasts around 8 hours on my skin with a really good projection, and it just is, oh my God. Like, I know I'm kind of going over the top right now, guys, but as I'm smelling it, I'm just falling deeper in love with this scent. So Peregrina from Tamine, I really recommend this one. I actually went to their counter the other day and I was like, can you find me a fragrance from your brand, similar vibes to Tamine, to Peregrina? And they showed me they showed me a newer one that was actually really, really nice, but I still love Peregrina. I still think it's probably like my top fragrance from the brand, but I'm obsessed, I love it, and I really recommend it to you guys. So that is it, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about the sexiest rose fragrances, because I know not everyone likes rose, but I'm sure even if you're a rose hater, there will be one fragrance here at least that you will fall in love with. So I hope that you liked this kind of concept of video. If you want, I can continue and do, actually I already have the list in my phone. Like I have a top 10 amber list, a top 10 coconut, top 10 mango, top 10 oud. I already have the list ready, but I wasn't really sure if it would be a video that you guys would like to see. So let me know and I can continue doing it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye.